Hello and good evening for all mankind. Season 2, Episode 10, The Gray, is over, and it has been since April 23rd, 2021. But we're just getting started here for August 18th, 2025, as we continue our mission to watch every episode of For All Mankind and talk all about it. This is the Season 2 finale, and spoilers if you have not seen the season finale of For All Mankind, because we're going to be getting right into it. I am your host, Dave Mader. Streaming live here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and you might be listening to us in audio version. And we got a great panel here once again to break it all down. Coming in first, just like Ed choosing to destroy the Sea Dragon rather than fire missiles, he knows when restraint is the boldest move. It's Kevin Millard.
Hi, Dave. How's it going?
Good. Well, welcome, Kevin. Glad to have you with us. Coming in here next from Ottawa's diplomatic trenches, where Cold War chess meets lunar brinkmanship. He reads the room like Gordo reads reactor schematics. Strategic clarity with northern grit. Adam Woodward.
I love your introductions these days. They are so much fun, and thank you for that. And I'm looking forward to talking about this episode because it was a long time coming.
Thank you, Adam. If you only knew the nefarious means I go to create these.
I do know that.
With duct tape suits, reactor meltdowns, and cosmonaut crossfire, she navigates chaos like Tracy charging into vacuum, fearless, focused, and unwilling to flinch. She's the quiet force behind every crisis plan. It's Heather Narduzzi.
I make this duct tape suits thing.
Quiet force.
That's not true. Also, I'd like to point out that the lights of the Enterprise D are dark tonight in honor of our fallen comrades.
Yes, indeed. R.I.P. Gordo and Tracy, of course, as we've already mentioned. Spoilers, of course. On that note, let's bring in our next panelist here. When Gordo dies saving Jamestown, it hits him like a silent breach in the hull. Slow, suffocating, and impossible to seal. But Tracy, her death doesn't stir the same ache. To him, it's not a tragedy. It's a footnote. It's a eulogy with just one name circled in bold. It's Jody Simpson.
The eulogy's mine?
No, but like the eulogy for Gordo.
Oh, okay. Yes.
I believe it's pronounced you googly, Dave.
I believe, yeah. Thank you, Heather, for the correction. Welcome, Jody. How are you doing tonight?
I could be better. I feel bad for Gordo.
Yeah, well,
Tracy
and
can
Tracy
fuck herself, but
all right. Yeah, all right. Okay. And
there goes our rating right now. All right.
Yes, we're no longer safe for kids here. I got to put this
We've
only
never
adults
been
only
safe
on
for
this
kids, I don't
podcast.
think.
I know it's true. Okay, and coming in last year, like a jukebox spinning through the final moments of Gordo and Tracy, he plays the emotional telemetry in real time, masking heartbreak with humor, but never tuned into the frequency of the latest storylines. It's the birthday boy himself, Jeff Mader.
I was wondering how you're going to get Aleda into that intro, and you found a way.
Yes. Yeah, and she has a few lines in this episode, Jeff. But
She finds the secret hatch,
Right.
communication. So
it was a good thing she went for that bag of Doritos at the right
Yes.
time. So
she likes snacks, and it paid off.
it all
And
paid
she's
off.
wearing a very cute blouse, I'd just like to say. They finally let her wear something cute. Love
But
it.
she still has her studs on. So
She does, so you can tell she's punk rock, baby.
right.
She's punk rock all the way. So we are covering, of course, the season finale of season 2, The Gray. This is the 20th episode overall, and written by Matt Wolpert and Ben Deavy, directed by Sergio Mimica Gazan. And it's a longer episode. It's about 76 minutes. Takes a little longer to get in. Adam's back. Great. And yeah, okay, we've all been talking about where does this lead? How is this going? Was the juice worth the squeeze? All the build-up, all the character setup, all these storylines that they needed to come to a convergence here in the finale. Bye, Adam. And we're bringing it all in here. Okay, let's go over to Kevin first. Kevin, how did you find this finale?
Was it worth the squeeze? Like, was it worth the time setting all this up? No.
Okay.
No.
I agree.
It's good. It's good. And I mean, Gordo and Tracy, given their entire relationship, this is the best possible outcome. Like, this is the best they could have hoped for, was dying
Sadly, it is. Yes.
on the moon,
Die as heroes.
covered in
Saving-
duct tape.
and moon dust, but they prevented a nuclear meltdown on the moon, which would have made that region of the moon uninhabitable for 1,000 years. I think they tell us. So
Which another casualty that I can attribute to Ellen, but more General Bradford. But really, Ellen was involved.
yes, Ellen was involved. There was a few. All the characters mostly have something to do here. The only characters I think we don't see are like Pam and maybe it's only Pam.
I think Pam's gone now. Usually
Well,
we're done
yeah.
with that.
She might come back one day.
She's gone back to Blair,
She went back to Blah.
supposedly.
Jody, you've been saying for weeks they're gonna kill Gordo. They're gonna kill Gordo, and we all wanted to tell you you were right, but we couldn't. We couldn't spoil it for you. We couldn't spoil it for Adam and Kevin.
The only
for
thing that
matter.
really bothered me about the whole thing more than killing Gordo was, Tracy dying a half decent death.
Yeah.
No. See, like Tracy didn't have to die.
No, she didn't
Like-
have to die at all.
No, like Gordo.
But I'm
was
glad they
right.
killed her.
Well,
They're
she
gonna
killed
kill
herself.
Gordo, kill her too.
Well,
Yeah.
Gordo couldn't have done the two things in
Yes,
time.
he could have. Yes, he could have.
I think he could have. Yeah.
I think she thought they had some sort of hope in hell of getting back to the hatch and surviving, and that was never the case.
Because they do get back to the hatch, but then they die seconds or minutes afterwards from exposure. The fact that they even get back into the hatch and are able to close the door is kind of impressive.
The whole thing is ridiculously far-fetched.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to come up on Fun Facts. Adam, maybe we can transfer to you next because you were telling us about the effects of hypoxia, how all the air.
Oh,
and
we're going
oxygen-
deeper into that tonight.
Okay, yeah. Could you really protect yourself with duct tape? While it's
No, of course not.
No.
I don't mean to spoil fun facts, but come on.
Well, actually, Heather,
I don't care. I loved it. I'm willing to suspend
Oh, yeah.
my disbelief, but I was totally into it. I just watched it for the second time. I cried all over again. Loved it 100%, but it is so far-fetched. Absolutely.
Like to even do it for 5 seconds, let
Like-
alone 20 seconds or whatever it ends up being, seems.
Also,
yeah.
Jody said died a half-decent death. That death was gruesome as hell.
Yeah,
But
it was great for
romantic
Tracy.
hell.
I wanted her to have suffer.
She was bleeding from her eyes, Jody. What
I
more
don't,
do you
think you,
want?
I don't think you could suffer more than they suffered in the 30 seconds of death that they occurred.
Yeah,
Only
they went out
that
pretty
is on
rough.
fire.
Yeah, other than on fire in your suit, I think this is the worst death you could.
Yeah,
probably have.
because the sun is directly there, so it's 200 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm not sure exactly what that is in
this
Celsius.
is like
but,
Spock in the warp reactor chamber, fixing the core. type
right,
thing.
right, like Rather Khan.
Yeah.
He's already dead. What are you talking about?
It's good TV, though.
It's
Yeah.
good TV, and it was we lose two big characters, Tracy and Gordo, in this episode. The other thing I guess that's really set up here is that Margot is more compromised by the Russians than she realizes here, and that Sergei is being used by the KGB and other forces to sort of get more intel, get more a leg up on them. So that was another story.
So I did go ahead one episode, and oh my god,
You went to season 3 already?
I
Okay.
did go to season 3.
a
Yes.
different vibe in season 3.
It's a
Yeah.
very different vibe. Yeah.
Yes.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
saying nothing.
But
I
well,
even didn't spoil it for Adam.
this doesn't spoil anything because we saw at the end of this finale. We then we kind of go through space. We buzz past the moon and we go all the way to Mars. And they say 1995 being the year that they would land on Mars. So 12 years after the end of this season. We're still trying to get there in our timeline. We're still trying to get back to the moon again in our timeline. But yeah, that was kind of. I thought that was a pretty exciting end there to this to the way they and the music that was it Nirvana that they were playing?
Yes, it was
Yeah,
Come As You Are.
Come
Which
As You
is a very interesting pick.
Are. Well, why do you say so, Jody?
Because some of the lyrics are "I don't have a gun,"
Okay.
which clearly everybody on the moon did.
Clearly,
No
yeah,
guns
well,
on Mars, though.
No, why
we'll
would
see.
you?
No.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Promise.
We find out that we also find out that the Americans were planning to put nuclear weapons on the moon with Sea Dragon, and Ed
Well,
just
They kind
blows it
of
up.
did already. They had 2 nuclear reactors there.
reactors, but that's different than weapons. Like it's a different.
It is different.
It's a different level of enrichment in the plutonium and
Yeah, one of
whatever.
those things blow up and it's goodbye everybody anyway.
And Margot's just like, I just want to talk about how insane it is, this idea of putting nuclear weapons on the moon.
I don't
But it's
know.
also-
The general's like, well, that was top secret, so we're allowed to do whatever the hell we want.
If it's top secret, it's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
No, none of your
Need to
lives
know,
really
Margot,
matter
need to know.
because national security comes first.
How dumb and gullible is Margot when she doesn't think they're going to have that on the moon?
I think Margot is idealistic, not dumb and gullible.
Eh, I'm not
And-
totally sure. Some of her actions were really stupid.
Well, Jody's
What-
more of a war hawk here. He's got
What is the purpose of having a nuclear weapon on the moon? What is the deterrent? Because if it blows up, or like the reactor goes off, you know, it's they said 1,000 years they won't
like
be
that
able to-
entire region around Shackleton, which would
Yeah.
basically making not just the moon, like that region of the moon uninhabitable, but that's where all the water is, and they need the moon as a springboard to go to planets like Mars. So you would really be like ending the space program for indefinitely if you did that.
Over what? Over like we have a bigger dick than you? That's basically what it is.
Well, just think
And-
what happens if one goes off on Earth.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
and we've
like,
had
it's-
Chernobyl. We've had like certain events that leave.
What's
places
more
on-
insane, having nuclear weapons on the moon or having nuclear weapons on Earth? You know?
on the moon?
Dave, I also just want to take for a second, I want to just say that I did use AI to generate this image, and I'm
Okay.
not claiming it as my own.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
You should have hired someone to make that for you, Jody.
You know what? I didn't have the time.
Right. So, hey, well, you know, that's how it goes.
It's a sight
okay.
gag.
I'm not quite sure if I got everybody's high
get
level
one.
thoughts. Okay, Adam, go ahead.
You didn't listen to Adam at all.
So here's my thing. I'm with Kevin. This went too long to get here, but I really like this episode a lot.
Yeah,
You know, and for me again, like this had some scares, anxiety again because of stupid nuclear war, which scares the crap out of me. And hearing sirens like that, but great episode. Enjoyed it thoroughly. We've already talked about some of the big ones, but can't wait to get into it here.
Yes, as those sirens were going off in the episode, Adam, I was specifically thinking of you because I was
Legit,
like,
me too. And
Uh,
like we were panning through the empty rooms of the houses and the
Yeah.
sirens going off. I was like, I bet this is giving Adam PTSD right now.
yeah. Well, that's,
You know, I mean, somebody, does nuclear weapons make sense? I mean, if you subscribe to MAD, mutual assured destruction, sure, I guess, because we haven't used them, but I still am terrified of one person being able to have power to eliminate us all or change our world so drastically.
don't worry, we'll always elect responsible people to government.
I think David Bowie said it best. He said, and I quote, "I'm afraid of Americans, and I'm afraid of the world."
Yeah. There's even some John Lennon quotes in this episode as well. Jeff, did you want to say anything else about the episode and the season before we jump into the screenshots?
No, not particularly. Like, I think it's a good finale. I think we're poo-pooing a little bit about like what they built. The story to me is about Gordo and Tracy this whole season, like from start to finish, and the way they build it up. And I think it really works. Like I think you get to the end of the season, and I'm satisfied. Like I was like, there's some slow stuff, but I think the story that they told. I felt satisfied at the end, and it was sad, and all these characters aren't perfect, but you kind of understand them for the most part. For the most part, almost every character, you don't go like, I don't get this character, you know. So I think they did a good job. Like
Yeah, and
developing
I think what Adam and Kevin maybe are getting at is that, like, you know, there was basically 8 episodes of setup before we got like 2 episodes of a lot of action and exciting stuff that happened, you know. So could you have done that setup in, you know, a fewer episodes, maybe. You know, like
Yes.
could you have cut back on a couple storylines here and there?
Yes.
I think
Don't
so.
get me wrong. This is really good. It's a really good episode. I was, the question was though, was the setup worth this payoff? And not really.
Are there
You
things
know
I
what?
would have cut out? Yes.
I'm not unhappy with it. I just
No,
it was
not
just
at
a
all.
long. Like, I mean, I'm not. Like I said, I think back in episode 5 that I don't know if I would have watched it. Got. Let's go. If we would have got to this part of the episode, sorry, if I would have watched this by myself without
Right.
you guys here.
Or you might have tuned out because it's all this like a lot of people talking in
Drama.
rooms, right? And I guess it comes down to pacing, right? Like how you pace the season out, and because we get a lot of action at the beginning and then at the very end, kind of.
Like I really liked season 1. Like I really did, and so this was a little bit of a drag, but I'm still very satisfied as Kevin is with the outcome.
Wait till we get to season 3. It's some exciting stuff. It's got to be coming.
I've
your way.
only watched half of the first episode of season 3, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
The first.
This show is great with characters. It like you love all the characters or hate them, but you identify with all.
And you know them. You know, like you understand them. Like Jeff's saying, like you get why they do, what their motivations are, and why they make their choices.
Except for Aleda. I don't really understand.
Except Elena. Elena, there's issues. You know what? And I don't want to spoil anything, but it's
I got really bad news for you guys.
Elena, I do like more going forward. But the first 2
Okay.
seasons, Elena is not necessary. She does not need to be on this show. But she is good in the next little bit.
She's
So,
like the Wesley Crusher of this show, or the Jake Sisko, maybe.
No
Like,
way.
that-
Wesley Crusher was immediately the most important person on that bridge.
Right. Yeah. Well, pretty soon.
Dude,
But
shut
like a younger character that kind of comes into their own eventually.
Shut up,
but-
Wesley.
Anyway, so let's jump into the screenshots, break down the plot. It's like a 73-minute episode. I have like almost 700 shots, so I'll try to move effectively here, everyone. So we're not here all night. We start off at JSC Mission Control, 5:34 a.m. Of course, as we saw at the end of the previous episode, the Russian cosmonauts had invaded Jamestown's command center. They had blown out the window. We saw the astronaut get sucked out there. And Rossi was locked in his office, and what now? So that notification is playing out here at the JSC, and the guy who's like in charge of looking at it is like, that's kind of weird. Did we schedule any decompressions today?
I love how we have the technology to put people on the moon. We have nuclear reactors on the moon. And everybody still questions whether or not it's a false reading.
Right.
They're like, oh, the sensor's got to be wrong. Like, no, probably not.
I think you might want like a live camera feed like in that room just to have a look potentially.
Yeah.
You know, but who am I to say? Anyway, so
This
they're
guy, the first guy that we see here in Mission Control, he reminds me so much of the guy in Office Space who talks about the O face. You know what I mean? He looks
just like him.
exactly like that guy.
Now that you've said that, I hope he's not still in the show, because,
he was
my
reminding
God,
me,
I'm going to see that all the time.
I know the actor. He's from U571. He was in that movie.
Oh, that was a great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. He reminds me of the guy who plays like, you know, in the Truman Show. At least like there's the best friend guy.
Yeah, it's not the same actor, but they very
They
similar.
have similar things.
Let me show
Anyway.
you my old face.
Yes. Well, we'll see it here. And they call up to Jamestown, say, hey, did you just have a decompression in your whole command center? And they go, oh, no, everything's fine. Don't worry about it. It's false reading, false alarm. No worries. Back to work. Okay. And then we go over
You
to...
think they would have set up some kind of code word so they could, if they were being held hostage or monitored or anything, they could say, you know, purple monkey dishwasher, or just like Margot straight up say O-ring. You
Yes.
know?
Right. Like a less than subtle code.
Yeah.
We find that Rossi has been commandeered here by the cosmonauts who are beating the heck out of him, looking for answers. They were the ones who compelled him to tell Houston everything was fine. So I'm not quite clear. I guess they got into here. They were somehow able to weld the shot out window shut and then repressurize the cabin.
No, they just took some of those eggs that they were eating for breakfast and just shoved it in the hole.
Duct tape. We already know duct tape is space resistant. They got picked
no,
up,
it clearly
that's
is not,
all.
actually.
Like for a few minutes,
Couple
anyway.
seconds, maybe most. Anyway, so no one on Earth knows what's happened here. I guess maybe it's the Russians do back on Earth. Whoa, what was that? Okay.
I'm not sure.
Do you have a cell phone signal by your microphone or something?
Not me.
Okay. Anyway, so they're locked out here. So the hallway's depressurized to protect our flanks. So the Russians can't go to the rest of the base because of that depressurization. And they're asking Rossi for information. They want to know where their cosmonaut is, the one who wanted to defect. He's saying, I don't know where he is. They're like, oh, yeah? Well, this guy specializes in fists to the face. So give him a few smacks around. And they knock Rossi around a bit here. And the Russian commander, he's quite intimidating.
These Americans are really going through a lot for the cosmonaut that wants to defect.
They are. Well, I think that Mr. Linus there would agree with you because later on he's like, shouldn't we just hand this guy over, and save Commander Rossi?
I'll tell you right now, if I'm on the moon and that's the scenario, yep, that guy's getting handed over in a heartbeat.
Right. Yeah. Well, after we see all that set up, we got our title card for the Gray, the name of the episode. As Karen had said in the previous episode, Ed, you don't like living in the gray. You're all about black and white. As will be
Turns out he can.
Turns out he can. He's okay in the gray.
Can Karen live in the gray?
We'll see.
He's not okay in the gray, though, as we see in the first scene after the credits, where he's looking out the window and he's just seeing flashes of himself fighting with Karen and her smiling and everything. I thought that was a great scene. He looks hauled. Like you can see on his face his struggle. I thought he did such a good job.
Yeah, that's one thing I got from this show, actually, which I've been familiar with him before, the guy who plays Ed. And I never thought he could actually act really well, but this show has kind of proved me wrong on that one.
He was in the show The Killing. You guys watch that?
Killing's great.
He was great in that. I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah, I like Joel Kinnaman. I didn't love him in the RoboCop remake, I thought he was okay.
Nobody was good in that.
But that movie wasn't really my favorite.
There was a RoboCop remake.
There was, and he's
RoboCop. Was he RoboCop?
He was RoboCop.
I did not watch it on purpose.
Yeah.
Until today, I didn't know it existed.
Don't remake certain movies. And
I'm not watching it.
So. You know,
it was not better.
If I want to be disappointed with RoboCop, I'll watch RoboCop 3.
Total Recall. Don't remake that movie. Not necessarily.
Yeah, that was garbage.
That
wasn't fun either. Well, anyway, back in the show. In the For All Mankind episode, we see that Pathfinder is escorting the Sea Dragon to the moon. Ed is looking out, and then all these flashes of the previous conversation with Karen are in his mind. That she, are they going to divorce? Is he losing her? Some different shots from season 1 and season 2, kind of edited in with Ed here, showing off his acting chops as he stares out a window, looking back at Earth. His first time back in space since his son died. And and it's supposed to be his time for sleep. Piscotti here trying to get him to get a shut eye, but Ed is not. He doesn't need to sleep. He's a tough guy. So, and he's working through some issues. Thinking about Karen. Why can't I sleep with Karen? He's thinking. She slept with some other guy. I'm gonna find out who this guy is. We'll see. Anyway, I think Ed tells Piscotti to leave him alone or something like that. At least Piscotti's wearing a hat that's not the Navy hat at this point.
Piscotti says you haven't slept since such and such, and Ed says, hand me the such and such, completely ignores what he's saying. And then Piscotti and Sally Ride exchange some yikes looks.
Yeah. Well, good thing we're working for this guy. What comes next here? There's a scene back in Houston we got Margot, we got Ellen, we got Molly, and they're just I think they're discussing the handshake in space, right? Is that what was going on here? Because it keeps getting delayed by the Russian side. Danielle Poole and there's the Apollo Soyuz is still planning here, but the Russians keep kicking the can. They keep stalling, which transitions us to Danny, who's on the Apollo. Waiting to dock with Soyuz in orbit, and they're told, "Hey, well, we're delayed I think that at some point they're gonna have this. Like we're gonna do it in another orbit until the Russians are ready here, and they just look over there. She just looks over there. So that. We'll come back to that. At Jamestown, we find Gordo and Tracy, who are still they were stealing a smoke. They like to meet up. That
wasn't the only thing they were doing.
They were also they were also doing other things. Remember, but they know that something's wrong here. That the entire base the comms are down. They don't know quite what's happened with the cosmonauts invading the command module, but they know it's not good and that they can't raise anything. So then they hear somebody coming or see somebody coming through the hallway. Gordo tells them to duck down. We see a cosmonaut who's working through this part of the base with a suit on as they hide behind the door. And he looks in and can't find anything. So they know something's really wrong at this point.
I really like the way they lit that with the red peephole. So when they're looking out, their faces are red, and I just thought that looked really cool.
Yeah, like here. Yeah, I did.
Mm-hmm.
You feel the danger.
It increases the danger, the sense of danger.
The Red Menace.
Yes.
The Red Menace.
They're on the base.
Ah, symbolism.
The Reds are
Army.
here. Yeah, the Red Army. After the cosmonaut moves on, then they hear this announcement from Commander Rossi in the command module saying, "Hey, everybody, don't worry. These cosmonauts totally haven't been beating my face in. It's all good. They just want the cosmonaut guy, right?" And then he goes, "Don't do it, don't do it." And then they hang up, right? And so Rossi, didn't have a code word, I guess, but the cosmonaut guy, he says, "No, you have to hand me over. They're never going to stop until they get me back." But the Marines say, "No, the president gave you asylum. Ronald Reagan wants this, and there's no way we're defying Ronald Reagan."
Yeah, this is nonsense. Even the one guy's like, "Can we just talk about this? This is,
Yeah.
And this lady just shuts him down. And it's just
Which the worst thing about all of this is she caused the whole goddamn thing.
She's the one who shot the Russian for holding a piece of paper.
Yeah. She did not use her instincts that she was trained for, which is you don't fire until you see a weapon. And
she actually shot
this
this specific guy behind her. But he speaks perfect English.
Yeah.
The whole thing was he didn't speak English.
Right.
I think it might be too critical of these guys. I mean, they're Marines. They're trained to listen to the commander in chief, and the commander in chief is the president, and he's saying no.
Oh, the Marines absolutely have to do that for sure.
Yeah.
But the fact that this girl gets off with nothing, literally, and she caused everything.
Well, maybe she'll have a court martial eventually.
Yeah, hopefully.
Anyway, so they're not handing over the cosmonaut no matter what. And Mr. Marine Commander guy says, "Oh, we're going to show them. We're gonna bring the fight to them next." So they start formulating their plan.
How come the Russian AKs are not painted?
I don't know. They don't have that American.
Not in the
normal
budget.
Black and...
Not in the budget.
Well, didn't they say that the reason why they had to paint their guns is so that way they wouldn't get too hot?
Only if
they're
they're in direct
indoor
sunlight.
guns.
Yeah,
They're just indoor guns.
but they use them to shoot open the window. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But anyway.
What do I know?
Down on Earth, at the Cleveland Capital Partners, where Sam Cleveland, the current husband of Tracy Stevens, is buying the bar from Karen. She's come in her best pantsuit to sell the bar, the Outpost. And
That purse does not match that pantsuit.
Ugh, Jody, you don't know.
Oh no, I know. That doesn't match.
What do you say, Heather? You're okay with it?
I love this outfit. Mint green power suit serving shoulder pad 80s realness. Karen.
Double breast.
Gorge.
Burlap and brown bag.
That's an
and-
expensive bag. It doesn't
I don't care if
have
it's an
to match
expensive
it.
bag.
To
It doesn't
state
It matches her
Jody.
shoes. It matches.
Yeah.
There's one thing
That's
I've
what's
learned
supposed
is
to
that
match.
they're
blouse. Just gotta take
if
this.
there's one thing I've learned, it's that they're all expensive bags.
Yes, that's true. The bag
That's
matches the shoes. That's good.
Right, they're fashion accessories, of course. You see, Sam's one of these kind of businessmen, even in the 1980s, who wears jeans with a jacket and
Okay,
a dress
I'm gonna
shirt.
call BS right here. The fact that this man is not wearing a tie in the 1980s is absolute insanity.
Or even dress pants.
Yeah.
I know he's like the boss, but it's
This is
very,
the 1980s. This is not 2005. Like,
But this is an alternate 1980
I don't
where they
care.
didn't wear ties.
No, he would be wearing a skinny tie and suspenders, and
Ties
eventually
have been
he's going to
banned.
die of bonitis.
And his hair would have a lot more volume to it.
You know who?
Yes.
You know who in this timeline wears ties, Jeff? The
No.
Russians.
The Russians.
Oh, twist.
It's a Rusky thing.
They don't
Anyway,
wanna
we
support the
see
Soviets.
this building. Is this building significant in season 3, guys? I can't remember, but
Yeah, I think it is.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's where a company is formed.
where Dev and all that is. Okay, and so yeah, like so she's going through, and he asks her at one point, "Do you ever get worried about Ed in space?" Because he's worried about he hasn't heard from Tracy, and she says, "Yeah, but you just find things to go through." And then he gets this. Oh, sorry. He then gets this sense that she's getting cold feet about the sale. He's like, "I don't want you to sell the bar if you don't want to," but she says, "No, I want to sell the bar. I'm going through with it." So she's moving on with this next stage of her life. trying to
Later,
figure
she
what
wants to do
next.
other things.
Maybe.
I would like to note where Jeff said that his outfit is not very 80s. I've noticed throughout this series, they're not period specific with the hair either. Like, she's wearing modern hair. An 80s gal would not be wearing her hair like that. Those are peachy 2020s waves.
That it would be way frizzier and just.
It would be bigger. She would have bangs. There would be a lot of aqua net.
She would
And the
also
shoulder
have a
pads would
Coke
be bigger.
mustache. Like, come on.
They did it
Yes.
at the beginning of the season, like when Tracy was on the Tonight Show. They made her
Yeah.
look like she was in the 80s, and I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
she
that's
did
what
have a
that's.
good 80s
And
look.
they got away from it,
Right.
Because
They go, these modern audiences can't handle it. They'll think she's hideous or something. So
It's probably you're probably the actresses were like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
not-
you can't do this to me for an entire season. They said.
yeah.
Yeah. But back on the ship, we then on Pathfinder we see Ed, who's clearly still preoccupied with Karen. This is where they're heading into lunar orbit, and they're going to be eventually out of range of Houston and Earth communications as they head into like the dark side of the moon here. There's a conversation here with Sally and Piscotti about, they might have to engage with Baran and the Russians, but they can't, get a signal right now. Trying to think if there's anything else I'm missing here from this one. Anyway, then we transition down to like this. It's kind of like the Nixon tape that we had in season 1, but this time it's Reagan talking to Yuri Andropov, the Secretary General of the USSR, as they're talking about this blockade that they're trying to prevent, Pathfinder and Sea Dragon from entering.
Which I think this was an actual tape, but it was for a sea thing.
Okay.
They've just kind of modified a bit, but I'm almost
Right.
positive this is a real recording. It's just a recording out of context.
Or at least some of the lines might be real. I
Yeah.
could see that. The Russians, the Americans don't recognize the blockade. But he goes, fine, it's not a blockade, it's a quarantine. Against,
Just like the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Right. And it's
Yeah.
kind of like
Against offensive weapons. That's great.
it's a quarantine. Yeah. There are no weapons on Sea Dragon, Yuri, which is a lie. So
It literally is a weapon.
yeah.
Well, it's carrying a bunch.
And it's provocative actions like this that lead the U.S. The U.S. was the first to shoot a gun on the moon, Yuri tells them, the first to kill someone on the moon. If the U.S. fires on Baran, we will have no choice but to respond in a substantial way, which basically would be like nuclear war on Earth. The Soviet Northern Fleet off the coast of Panama has 30 targets in the southern U.S., so this shit's going down. Like, it's getting really tense here between the great powers. And if Ed does fire on Baran, it's that's going to lead to the war.
I would have liked to see a couple episodes with this tension instead of just the back and forth that they had with the Russians for most of the season.
Are you trying to kill Adam? We can't have any more Cold War tension.
I think he'll survive, but I just think it would be interesting to give you a little bit more action.
Yeah.
You know, have a
Yeah,
couple standoffs
I thought that
before
this escalating tension was good. It works in the episode, yeah, and I could maybe see like if they had carried this through more of the season a little bit more, that might have been fun or interesting, less fun, I guess. But anyway, like it's getting tense here, and it's an all-out conflict. Is the store
they got the
shelves
Tomcats coming out now.
are being emptied. Everyone's hunkering down. They're getting their bomb shelters here.
I always really like when they tell the story with news clippings, newscasts, like headlines and that sort of thing. I love that as a storytelling device because it's real footage, and I like the way they manipulate it to fit into the alternate timeline. I think that's sharp.
Yeah, this is just from COVID when everybody was getting
Yeah.
toilet paper.
Yeah.
Can I ask a dumb question? Because they say they run
No dumb questions. Just
because
dumb people.
everything they say a run on everything from bottled water to toilet paper, and this might
Apples are
but-
fine.
no, but
Starts
like
at B.
was bottled water a thing in 1983?
It was just starting. I don't remember.
Actually, that's a very good point.
Because I know
I'll
like
look
you
that up.
obviously could go get like a jug of water or
Well,
maybe
you
something
could get
that,
like
but-
the water
existed.
cooler water.
but
It
like
existed, but we didn't drink it like we drink it now. Like
right.
Drink it as a hose, and we liked it.
Well, I don't know if I liked it, but it was cold and it was good enough.
Because I felt like that was a thing that in the 90s, like the individual, like smaller, individual serving bottled water, I guess more specifically. I mean, but
That's a good observation. I never really caught on.
I'll come up on that one and give you some
okay,
dates.
we'll circle back to that on fun facts. All right, the next scene is all about Margot talking to Sergey about the Apollo Soyuz docking, and he's like, "I'm sorry, we are delayed again," and the NASA is losing their patience here with the whole thing. Ellen is really over it as this tension is going on, and she says, "I'll give you one more orbit, and then we'll go." And then Sergey gives I guess a code to Margot here that the others don't pick up on, that she's going to write into a Tootsie Roll as a sort of I guess it's a phone number, I guess, right? She's got to call Moscow with this number she writes on the Tootsie Roll wrapper.
I really liked that they did the Tootsie Roll callback to Margot's habit when she's figuring things out and thinking.
I was like, oh yeah, well something's going down here with Margot. She's syncing up with Tootsie Rolls. Then so anyway, they're delaying again. We see Bill gives the news up to up to Danielle and them that they have to go around the orbit again, and or I guess it's more Molly who tells them that they get one more orbit and that's it. And then
I do
Aleda,
love this line though.
Aleda's going here at Molly, and Molly's like, "Who are you and why are you talking to me?" You know, it was.
And then she ruins it by saying, "I kind of like her."
Right. Well, Bill tries to shush. Don't do this. Do not challenge Molly. And she just
She's
gives
a bloody
Bill.
engineer. Shut up and do your job.
She just gives Bill the finger, which impresses Molly. She's like, I like this one. So.
I do have an answer for you on your bottled water question, if you would like.
Oh,
Okay.
So, bottled water was invented in 1947, but it was very expensive at the time. And then they had it kind of in the 50s, but not really. And it really didn't become a big thing until the late 70s, but it was only local spring companies that so everything was local. It was no national brands.
Except Perrier, who launched in America in 1977.
Yeah, and then in the early 80s is when it did start become nationalized.
77 was a good year.
So it is pure and authentic. There probably was bottled water in almost
Is it
every grocery store.
when Nestle realized that they could just sell us tap water in bottles and we'd buy it up?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, PepsiCo does that with Mississauga water.
And the petroleum industry figured out they could make a lot of money off plastics. And
Yeah,
stuff
the
like
water companies and the plastic companies came together. Yeah.
that. It's a beautiful thing.
And now you have all these microparticles in your body with it.
Well, so Bill gives the news up to Danielle that they're doing another orbit, and she's getting pretty frustrated. And is this where she calls over to them? And they're they're laughing. They're talking about, come on.
This is the first time she calls over, yeah.
She calls over to the Russian commander, and come on, you know what's going on? He's like, I don't know what's happening. It's we are delayed. So, They're having their fun.
They're
time
very
here.
close too, so it's like
Yeah, it seems like the two sides, they get along. They kind of broke all that tension in the earlier episodes.
So this scene here, Dave,
Yes,
you're on that.
Margot at the payphone.
Okay, so the director of the NASA program leaves the building and goes use a payphone across the driveway.
In open sight of all those windows.
don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
It's a little weird.
And she's writing something on a Tootsie Roll
Back at Tootsie Roll, yeah.
wrapper. She's putting like, I don't know, at least 4 quarters to call Moscow. Or Star City. I guess it's Star City, not Moscow, right? As Sergei's waiting on the other end.
Where he leaves his building and goes.
Yes. But we
right
find out
in
that
front of it.
the KGB are kind of, they know what his role in all this is, but
The
not-
KGB
remember-
are like, fuck, we forgot about that phone out front.
Just remember, this is the society that has like streaming webcams already.
yeah.
They can't secure a phone line, but they can do this.
Sergei tells her that the delays are mechanical and they're not related to anything like political, and she doesn't believe him, and so and I think that she's right not to. And she's like, I can give you one more orbit, that's it, and then she basically hangs up on him here, and says, I only. At one point, she has to put more quarters in to like keep the call going, which I thought was fun.
Well, she is calling long distance from a payphone.
Oh yeah, it's really long distance.
That would suck.
Yeah. Get it together, Sergei, or this is it. It's going to be off. And so she hangs up, and Sergei's kind of sad. And then we see Margot coming back into the building here in Houston. She passes, of course, the photo of like the President of the United States and like the general and herself and Ellen, who are now like the top NASA leadership. So I thought that was interesting that, her treason, if you will, is perhaps staring her right back in the face as she looks at herself, positioned in front of an American flag for the patriot she is. Then on the moon, we see Gordo, who's apparently he was able to get the news on the moon, which was handy. There's a TV there in that little room that they're in, and Linda Park's giving the news about there's the tension with the fleets, there's the tension with the Apollo Soyuz, but nothing about what's happening on Jamestown. It's not on the news at all. So he's getting the impression that no one on Earth seems to know about this, or at least they're not telling the media. As Gordo and Tracy's still in there. And is this where they're talking about like the days when like he was first here and like they watched was the Bob Newhart show and
6 tapes. That's all they had.
6 tapes, and she basically recounting the events of like the Hi Bob episode, all to Tracy here. And that Ed would only be Bob Newhart. That's when they kind of like talking about this. He remembers that there's this old antenna in the original module that they eventually switched off from, but that it might be worth like going after, and trying to reactivate as a form of communication that the Russians.
Why did they unplug it?
Why did they unplug it?
Yeah.
I guess it was obsolete, so they
It's still there.
well, it's still
Not so obsolete that it's not still plugged in behind 2 boxes of files at NASA.
exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. Meanwhile, at another part of Jamestown, we see that the U.S. Marines here are getting into their suits and they're preparing to depressurize a certain part of the base so that they can kind of potentially take the fight to the Russians. As we see them doing the depressurization, and the Russians are pretty much just confined to that one room at the moment. And as they're moving around, eventually the Marines find Tracy and them as Gordo is up in the rafters here trying to reconnect the wires, saying he should have lost more weight. But he's doing good here. And so they're starting to figure that out. Tracy then sees somebody through the window. She doesn't know who it is at first, but she eventually figures out it's the Marines. And she's trying to get their attention. Hey, it's me. Hey, look over here. Look, it's America's sweetheart. But then Tracy's the only one who can see that the cosmonaut with the gun is right behind them, and there's no air in the hallway. So no matter how much she bangs on that window, he's not going to be able to hear it. And he's kind of looking away. throughout
Even
all
though
this.
this is such a trope, like the one person can see the bad guys coming up on you and they're trying to get your attention, this was so tense and so well done. And I love the added aspect of the no sound when it cuts to the hallway. Like, fantastic.
Yeah, like he's not looking. He's looking around the corner at his other, the other Marine, and then he's like, "What are you going on about Tracy?" He finally looks at her, but by the time he does, the cosmonaut takes his shot and shoots him in the back of the head.
I thought problem solving wise, not very smart here. Like, why are you just waving your hand? Like, you know what he will see is a light. You can't find a flashlight or anything that, like a mirror, something that will get his attention. Like, and I'm not just talking about in this moment, but before when he, like, they didn't even see her. So she had time to get like a communication device of some kind,
Yeah.
Um,
So I don't know. She didn't think of it, or neither did Gordo, I guess. Anyway, he gets killed, that Marine, and then the other one here. I can't remember all these Marines.
Webster is her name, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
The
Because
insubordinate one.
He then shoots this other guy. He won't die, but there's like the whole he's like there's all this fighting going on, and you can't hear the bullets. It's just like you see the guns firing.
Yeah,
but
you
there's
just
no-
see them fall and
Yeah,
you see the firing.
everything else, and he's like going to like. Does he shoot like the first guy he shot like again? When he's on the-
Several more times while
Yeah.
Tracy watches. That was really upsetting. And you
He
don't hear
didn't
the
want him to be a
bullets.
zombie.
I mean, I get it. You don't want
gotta
moon
double tap.
zombies, but
No.
Moon zombies are the worst.
it was
Yeah.
rough.
Like this was pretty rough for considering he's about to finish off the other guy, and then
Well, nobody caught on fire, guys. Nobody caught on fire.
yeah, Webster then
Yeah.
comes around and like starts shooting her gun off, like, and she manages to get him, but in the process, she might have shot the nuclear reactor. Whoops!
Who would have thought shooting weapons inside of a space station would be such a bad idea?
I don't know, but
Margot thought it.
Oh, that's
Margot
right.
did think it. She was like, "No guns on the moon." We're like, "Well, we have to send guns. We have to maintain our mining bases. Come on." So the Russian, I think the cosmonaut dies, right? Like he must be
Yeah.
killed.
Yeah.
We never see like another person like get like enveloped in flames like we saw the other guy.
Thankfully.
Yeah. But yeah, so Tracy
I was
and
hoping the
Webster.
Marine girl would, but she
But
didn't.
yeah,
Nice.
Tracy's like, oh my god, what did I just see here? Basically this guy gunned down two of my friends, and Gordo here. Webster gets the one Marine who'd survived. She gets him back to like a pressurized area so she can help him. But then we see that like those bullet holes, where did they go? As they shot through the reactor, and it destroyed one of the key chips that is like a regulator for the reactor to keep it.
Yeah, it was the computer for the cooling control.
For the cooling control, which is
reactor.
important with nuclear reaction. I
I would
understand.
imagine. Yep.
Yeah.
This diagram looks so much like the Jurassic Park system.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Exactly. Well, they get this report down on Houston. The nuclear reactor cooling system seems to be shutting down.
Well, if you look at that diagram, one of them's a coffee maker. Because you got the
The cup.
that's the whole key to the whole fusion.
Right.
The fusion is actually coffee.
You're making coffee up there.
So, hey, Flight, we got a nuclear meltdown happening at Jamestown. Maybe another false sensor. Maybe we should.
You know
check
what?
on this.
Don't even bother checking because all of our sensors don't work. All right? Just ignore it.
They try to call up to Jamestown. No one's answering comms whatsoever. Margot goes to tell Ellen and the general, and she's like, "We may have a situation on Jamestown. I don't know we have no contact with them. The nuclear reactor might be coming down." And then like,
Oh, by the way, there's two.
oh, by the way, there's two.
Yeah.
And the general's like, we can't have this conversation here. Let's go into our little secret room here and talk more about it.
There's two, and we didn't have time to do it safely. So,
But it was top secret, Margot.
that
So-
MP might hear us. We
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
allow that.
We can't. It's just a spy here. He goes, "This goes way above your security clearance," but yeah, we're totally messing around up there. Because what else would the military do?
We're doing everything wrong up there.
Yeah.
Just for fun.
And this is where Margot's like, "You're putting nuclear weapons on the moon? How insane is that?" You know, and she's pretty upset. I think she feels betrayed by Ellen in particular, who's
Absolutely. She's like, "Did you know about this?" And Ellen's like, "Well, yeah,
Of course you
Yeah,
do.
I want a job with Reagan. What do you think?
yeah,
You know?
yeah."
Sorry, Margot, but your pay grade is only this high.
right. Well, and
Too bad.
Margot's like, "I'm the director of NASA. Like, I'm the director of the JSC. Like, how am I not told about these things?" Right?
Because it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
Except it has everything to do with the people that she's in charge of and their safety.
Yes.
You know, and that's her
Right.
point. And that's why she's mad.
So this compartmentalizing between the agencies is kind of, you know, counterproductive in my opinion.
This still happens.
It doesn't mean it's good, but it happens. You're right. Anyway, Leda's getting a snack.
Oh, I totally remember those Hostess cake things.
The
Please
blueberry?
notice the traditional flavor Tostitos on the right-hand side.
Which is just like what, salt? Is that
Yeah,
the traditional
yes.
flavor? Okay.
Yeah.
They taste like corn chips.
Yum.
Yum. Anyway, so Aleda was getting that. She didn't need any negative pressure, but as she's going by, she like hears something, I guess, and this is where she goes into this old room of just
This
boxes.
is such a load of crap.
What is it?
They
What's
just
wrong?
had to give her something to do, I
Yep.
guess.
Yes, they did.
Because, like, this was so stupid.
Well, who's behind the boxes? It's Gordo.
They went through the process in Jamestown to unhook a redundant antenna, but they just put this in the back of something and put some boxes in front of it. But it's still active.
Well, I guess so. Anyway, Aleda finds it. What's going on, right? And Gordo's relieved as he, can finally download all this information. So then Aleda runs into Mission Control, and we can't hear it all because it's kind of like from the behind the window of the observation
we're
deck.
supposed to be in the gallery. Yeah.
But we know what she's telling them. We don't need it all in dialogue. So
And I think it's a nice parallel too of not being able to hear the Russians and the shooting in that area, and then we see them having this conversation and running and moving, but we don't hear any of it. So I thought that was a nice storytelling
didn't want to
device.
do anything.
yeah, they just get the
No,
sound
maybe
guys
there's
at the end.
that. They're like, we're off. It's union break.
We're
Yeah.
done.
See everybody.
So now we have Gordo and Tracy talking to Margot and Molly about what they could do. That the reactor, telling them about how the reactor's melting down. That the fact that the cosmonauts have taken control. What the full situation here is, and that if they can't fix the coolant system, there's going to be this nuclear meltdown that will destroy not just the base, but
Are you saying there's a coolant leak?
there's a coolant leak in the exactly.
We should call it
so-
Jeffrey tubes.
So they have to go outside. To fix it, it has to be outside, and they have no spacesuits in this area. So Gordo then grabs the schematic. He goes, "Well, I only have to get 25 meters away. I can run that in 10 seconds. I've been jogging."
You've
been jogging on the moon?
I've been jogging.
I've been jogging. I know how much. It's a little different.
See, I think at this point he knew he was going to die, so he just did it anyway.
Well, I think he knew that this was a suicide mission.
Totally.
But a necessary one, right? So he's volunteering for it. He's like, okay, I only have to go all the way over there and press some buttons and get over there. But Margot's like, no way, this is insane. And Molly just looks at Margot, and goes, what's our other plan here? What else are we gonna do? This might be the only option.
That's why Molly should have Margot's job, in my opinion.
Yeah,
But that's just
they
me.
should have been reversed.
Yeah.
Right. Well, Molly understands a good self-sacrifice, so she's more willing to go with this with Gordo, who's coming to terms of what he's volunteered for really quickly.
Oh
To
yeah,
God.
you can see the despair in his eyes. He's like,
Yeah.
"Yep, I'm not coming back."
Yeah, he doesn't. We then catch up here with Pathfinder and Sea Dragon. This is when they're going to the dark side of the moon, I think, and they're going to lose communications with the whole side.
Yeah, and they know that the Russians are on the dirt. They're in that area. They're
in a
that
different orbit or something, but yeah.
So they know, but they won't be able to see them.
Yeah, so
So
that
we'll have
confrontation is coming to a head. Down on Earth, at the outpost, Karen is listening to the news report
The
about.
minute I saw the outpost, I thought we were going to have another event.
Well, they were talking about the Apollo Soyuz here on the news, and that's been delayed. She's drinking some. What is she? She's drinking some kind of whiskey or something. I guess celebrating the sale of the outpost. out of her William and Mary mug. When Kelly comes in, Kelly go, "Why is the bar closed?" "Oh, because I sold it." You know, I don't even think Ed was told anything about this yet. But
I have to admit, I like what they did with this though, because
I guess it
have
was champagne
gone
they
ahead,
were drinking,
so-
not whiskey.
No, I mean the thing that happens because of this. So
Oh well, yeah,
Which
they're
happens in
here
next
in the
season.
bar having a drink, and like Karen talks about she wants to go back to school and get her MBA potentially, and go to Virginia, maybe go back to her alma mater of William and Mary. And this is where Kelly's like, "Are you and Dad getting a divorce? Like William and Mary's in Virginia, and that none of these plans seem to involve your father, or my father. Your
she's
husband."
a quick one, that one.
Yeah.
I don't know how she put that together.
Oh, I don't know either.
Well, she's no dummy.
Karen was surprised.
She's like,
Yeah.
"What? What? Why? You only saw this weird fight,
Why would
last night."
why would a college age student be able to understand this? I don't get it.
Exactly. But just then, like the air raid sirens are going off, which they think is a drill, kind of at the beginning. But it's the emergency broadcast system. This is not a test. Everyone take cover. Head to your fallout shelters if you have them. So this traumatizing Adam forever, and getting him going here. Then
Adam's broadcasting from the fallout shelter tonight.
Adam, don't you have an extra fridge that you can use?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
like Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
Jones, yeah.
yeah, that's fine.
That's
It's an old lead-lined fridge, yes.
Yeah, of course. Like they all come.
Being thrown 300 meters though, that won't kill you.
So back at Johnson Space Center, they start figuring out a way to help Gordo and Tracy make like a makeshift suit with like the
Yeah, and the best they can
gas
come
masks.
up with is wrap your ass up in duct tape. At least the
Yeah.
guys from Apollo 13, they like worked out of the box there a bit, like.
But just as they're having this discussion, like the warning sirens go off there in Houston, and they're all like there's we're going to DEFCON 2. Ellen tells us, and Margot gives the speech. If anybody wants to head to the fallout shelter in Building 3, please go now. And like one guy goes. He's
I
like,
love that there was one guy.
One
who's
guy.
like, "Yeah, I'm out of here."
And he
He's
doesn't.
like, I'm not a company man. Piss off. I'm leaving.
He doesn't even look at anybody else. He just
I ain't dying for this place.
he's like I'm done. I'm out. See ya.
I don't
and head to
blame
the
him.
shelter. Where everyone else is like, no, we won't leave. We're staying.
The amount
Do
of
what it
rocket
takes.
fuel and stuff they got around here, yeah, you're gonna die if they do get hit.
I think every one of them knows the effect of a nuclear weapon. I mean, and they know they're going to go.
If you're in a fallout shelter, you're probably not going to survive anyway.
Especially if it's like they're going to do a direct hit on Houston. I mean, come on.
Right. I think Ellen tells us that they are pointing like 6 nuclear weapons at Houston specifically. So anyway, but
I found this scene surprisingly moving though, because sometimes I do find, of course, it's a show about America. I find it like really can be very over the top jingoistic American sometimes, but like this, to me, this scene was about greater than just we're doing this for America. It was we're doing this for
all mankind.
oh my God. That's what the show's about.
There you go.
Imagine that.
So
Wasn't just
Well-
about Americans.
yeah,
It's for all mankind.
but I also found the scene moving. I'm like, we'll stay here till the end, except for that one guy.
No, I would have been the one guy. I'm out of here. Yeah.
I have to be honest, I would too. I'm like, yeah, I'm not dying for my government job. Sorry.
Well, I gotta help the astronauts anyway. So up on Apollo
Yeah, they're on their own.
Soyuz, they're told that they're gonna have to come back. It's off. The Apollo Soyuz thing is not gonna happen. And I think this is where Danielle's having a conversation with the Russian commander and saying like, did we come all the way out here to do nothing? She talks about her wedding ring.
No, we came out here to defy orders. Because that's
Right.
apparently what everybody does around here.
That's how it goes.
But
Molly,
she does have a point though. Like, what are they gonna do? They can't do anything to them when they're already up in space. Go ahead and do it. And her
Yeah.
speech was about we've been passed over and told next time over and over again, no way, we're here, let's do it.
Right. Let's go for it. Don't you want to go for it? We want to go for it. And what? We might get chewed out when we get home? Well, the
And
Russians
she
might
said,
get
at least Leica got to do her mission.
the dog that got boiled in space. Yes.
Oh
Right.
my God, no.
Right. Well, we can be just like that. Like that should have been the part of the pitch that he should have been like, ugh, I don't want to be like Leica. Like this. That's
Oof.
not,
That's a
you
fair.
know. Anyway, but back.
Speaking of getting boiled in space, here's
Yeah.
Gordo and Tracy.
Gordon Tracy,
Yeah.
who are working on the plan.
It all connects.
Like basically Molly explaining like you're gonna wrap yourself in duct tape here and you're gonna have to like do a couple things to prevent the you have to have no air in your lungs when you run out there because your lungs will explode if you do. So Tracy starts getting the duct tape ready and they start writing down all these plans that they've come up with, and there's just this part here, this realization for Molly, like he's not coming back, there's no way,
No.
And she's like, she knows she's kind of ordering him to his death here in this particular scene. But then Tracy's like, you're not going out there alone. There's no way I can let you do this by yourself. He tries to object, but she's like, I'm not telling our sons that I let their father die for no reason.
He should have objected harder to her objection. He should have said to her, if
He
I
wanted her to die.
You know what? I think there might be something to that, Jody. There might be something to like. I think he thought it was sweet that she was willing to do that for him, and that's why he didn't object. But it's sad either way that's for their kids because they should. One of them should have been thinking about their kids.
Yeah, that kind of gets passed
But
along.
you're everybody's gonna die if they fail, and you double your chances of completing this mission, which you can't.
Uh-huh.
I agree, and I think that you do need both of them to go here. I think that they kind of make that clear once they get outside and you see that what they both have to do and everything else. But and then Gordo probably would not have been able to pull that off just by himself in the time he would have had.
And it's a fail-safe too, because if something happened, you only have 15 seconds. If you went out there alone, what if you stumbled and fell and you didn't even make it over there?
Right.
So I think it does.
There's
Maybe it could have
redundancy.
been done by one person, but I think two people makes the most sense. And the other thing is, Tracy just saw a bunch of people murdered right in front of her face. I think both of them just wanted to save more lives and do the best they could.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. And then we see on Earth, like the tension is getting more palpable. Of course, you have to send Reagan up in Air Force One, just in case, a nuclear
He would
war
have already
breaks out.
been up at this point.
Yeah, just a precaution. We have Karen and Kelly down in their bomb shelter, kind of dealing with the reality here. And this is where Kelly tells Karen about, I went and found my biological father and met him, and you can't be angry. And there's kind of a shock here from Karen. But, she's like, but he didn't know me, and I'm yada yada in this stuff because it's probably my least favorite stuff in the episode.
It's better. It's better than Karen's secret.
What happened in that room?
Right. Well, you want to know what happened on
Probably
this
where
bed?
Ew.
Yeah.
Don't tell Kelly that.
Especially when Kelly's been probably wanting that with him forever.
Yes.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, they'll be at the
But
Naval Academy.
I thought this was a pretty real and loving reaction from the Karen character. At first, she was really shocked and taken aback, and then she immediately softened and said, "Of course, I'm not mad. It's only natural. I love you."
Sure, it was. Yeah, I was just kind of like, I'm not as tied into.
You know
this
what
as-
isn't natural?
We know, Mrs. Robinson.
Of course.
Also, I this juxtaposition, I thought, and I said this earlier, that I think Ed was happy being like the Molly's job, and she sent him away to a place where he had a lot of PTSD of where he was alone and isolated, and his son died, and she made him go back up there.
She didn't make him.
Well-
He's a grown man. He's an admiral.
she kind of
She made him a bacon breakfast, and she put a waiver to their cruise right in front of them, and I don't know. Like
He went. I'm not saying it wasn't his choice.
He made his choice, but
Yeah.
But I don't think he knew what he was agreeing to. That it was going to basically be the end of his marriage. So I don't know if he would have agreed to it had he.
See, I look at it like I think he did know. I think that's why he went.
Well, maybe.
He's done.
Speaking of which,
I think
Ed,
honestly, guys, like Ed controls his work life. He controls the military.
Absolutely, he can't
But
control his family.
Karen controls the house, and she told him how it's going to be.
And he didn't like it, so that's why he's back in space.
Right. That's why he's back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's back here. Speaking
Getting
of which,
guns
Ed,
pointed at him.
yeah,
I
Ed
see
is.
what you're saying, Adam. Like, yes, he controls his work life, but if she hadn't given him the push, would he have even considered it?
Well, that's what I'm
Go
saying.
back.
I'm saying that exactly what I'm trying to say is that she basically said you need to do this in your, and I think he takes her direction all the time. Remember the time that she was
Right.
trying to calm him down when he was beating up the phone and throwing things in the kitchen.
Go mow the
Go
lawn.
mow the lawn.
Right.
And he's mowing the lawn at 10 o'clock at night.
Right, which is a totally normal thing to do.
Well, it's better than smashing the house up, I suppose.
I suppose.
Yep.
Phones are expensive.
Anyway, like they're looking for up in space here with Pathfinder. Ed, Sally Ride and Piscotti are looking for the Baran, the Russian shuttle, and I think they finally get a signal on it here. Next, and I think this is where. Is this where Oh, they
I
have
think
to.
they realize that they can, because I think the shuttle starts talking to them, right?
Not yet. I think this is just where Ed gives the order to open the doors and release the weapon,
Have it ready, yeah.
and have it ready. So, and there's just this look here with Piscotti and Sally Ride. They're like, is this really happening? Are we really going to go into?
Now, Ride is a civilian, right?
Right.
Which in real life I don't know if she was, but
Yes, she was.
Was she? Oh, I just downloaded a documentary for her. I haven't watched it yet. This whole like her holding a gun to him, like that ain't gonna fly. Like no matter how you look at it, whether you're right or wrong, that's not gonna fly. So
Yeah.
the fact that
Assuming
Well,
they
wait
never
till
got
you
to
see
it.
this documentary. Sally Ride was hard as fuck, dude.
oh, I bet she was. But you kind of have to be in
I
this.
kind of like
environment.
Piscotty's, do you guys realize we're in a vacuum in space when they're playing the
pressurized
games?
capsule.
Especially when they
Yeah.
both have their guns out, because when they both
Yeah.
have their guns out, you can just see the fear in his eyes. It's not even everybody else; it's just him. He's like, "Oh God, I'm gonna die by two crazy maniacs with guns."
Yeah.
I just wanted to show up and be good.
Is this where? So I think that this is where the next scene back at Houston, Bill is giving the order to Danny that, hey, you're coming home. We're gonna give you your re-entry telemetry, and she says, nope, we're doing it anyway. You better get us our docking thing if you don't want us to crash into each other on live TV. And this is where Molly's like, you will follow my orders. No, what I say, But of
And
course,
Danielle's like, no, but.
Danielle's like,
Not
no.
doing it.
And you remember last season, Molly didn't want to follow orders either. She's like, well,
It's funny
don't.
how that comes around. Yeah.
No,
comes
she
around
just
here.
wants to give the orders. She doesn't want to follow them.
Exactly.
I get that.
Yeah, that's Molly. But then Ellen has a change of heart. She's like, you know what? Let them do it. Like maybe if we're gonna have the end of the world today, let's at least
If we're
have
having
one-
such a shitty day, let something good happen.
let's have something good happen. So let's
I'm
go.
not even
with it.
sure there's a let here. They have no control. They have no control.
Well,
of
they
it.
could choose not to
about
give them
this.
the telemetry, I guess, and not help them.
They could, and they
Do
could
the
also
docking.
crash a multi-billion-dollar vehicle. But
Right. But
$1
they're doing it, and so and then Bill offers the Aleda the chance to call it, call up the telemetry. And
How'd you feel about that, Jeff? Was that good?
Sure, it was the one story Aleda had the whole season. Her relationship with Bill. Wow,
Margot a bit,
what
yeah.
a journey she went on this season, Aleda. She really, this character, she's like third Bill. I just don't get it. What? Why is
I
she
think
so
Jeff
important?
is secretly part of the Aleda fan club. I think.
Yeah, biggest Aleda
He's
stand
actually
here.
the founding member.
President.
president. Yep.
That shirt reminded me of Michael Jackson's Thriller for some reason.
No, it's fashion. It's pleats. It's silk.
Yeah, but this is about the time that Thriller came out.
Thriller.
It is.
Yes.
But yeah. Anyway, so
When
Elena
she
gets
puts up her hand, she's got the one sparkly glove.
and the chain yeah, around her wrist. Anyway, she gets the call up here, and then we got the Apollo-Soyuz docking that starts to begin here. Meanwhile, it's kind of cutting from everything really quick. So in Jamestown, there's this fight here between the Russian cosmonauts who are actually using what's it called, like an arc welder or something to cut through the door. They're getting ready for the fight. Meanwhile, Tracy and Gordo are taping up their makeshift spacesuit here with duct tape.
One layer of duct tape.
One layer of duct tape. And then, we got Webster here firing back at the Russians. We see here Pathfinder has opened up its doors to its bay, and the weapons are coming out. Apollo-Soyuz coming closer together. It's kind of meanwhile, while they're getting ready for this handshake, more and more tension is building everywhere else. Man.
There's no way in hell anybody would think that this would work.
What?
This duct tape thing.
Oh, definitely not. But like Kevin said, it makes for great TV. I didn't even think about how dumb it was in the moment until afterwards. I was like, all right, but duct tape, seriously, duct tape.
Well, how much
You were
would
shiny. That's definitely a spacesuit. It's
Yeah, spacesuits.
how much you would not be able to even move in it because how restrictive it would be, even if it did work.
Probably make things worse. Yes.
Yeah, but
We're going to talk about this. I'm telling you.
because I think if you were going to do this too, I think you would not want this the shirt in between. I think you would want to actually put the tape directly onto the skin.
If you're planning on surviving, you want a layer between the skin and the duct tape.
Yeah,
but isn't
you
the
don't
whole
want to be
thing
taking that shit off later.
That's it. They knew it was a suicide mission. They could have just put the duct tape right on the skin because they'll never have to peel it off.
Mm-hmm.
The moon will do that for you. The sun.
True. More fighting here. The missiles coming out of Pathfinder. They're aimed and starting to go. They're more duct taping. Apollo-Soyuz finally come together, and it's kind of neat to see how different those two ships are when they're actually linked up like this.
Federation versus Ferengi.
It's almost like Klingon and Federation, or something. They come together, and this is right when Gordo and Tracy have their final conversation before they head out into the vacuum of space, where he tells her he loves her, and she loves him back, and they're going to do this, and I don't know. I think I'm kept hitting all the key beats. If I'm forgetting anything, let me know.
That's all they said. I love you, Trace. I love you too, Gordo. And then they exhaled their breaths and put their masks on and got going. What else is there left to say? They know they're going into certain death, really.
The mask that had no seals at all. So
yeah.
Because I think if you
would tape the damn mask,
you would have to tape around the edge of the mask, right, as well, to try to create that seal.
No, it's like an N45. It's fine.
Exactly.
I don't think duct tape is it's not like it's like air goes through it.
It's a porous.
Do you work for NASA, Jeff? No. So you don't know about duct tape.
This is special NASA duct tape.
You know what? I'm gonna wear some punk rock stuff, and then
they
all
charge
of a sudden,
the taxpayer $130 a roll for this.
Right.
Yep. Put on some spikes on your wrists, and you'll be an engineer.
Yeah. I'll start flipping the bird to everybody, and I'll be badass.
Yeah. Would anybody here be willing to do this? Give it the chance.
With no inner layer.
Yeah, maybe with no inner layer.
Straight up duct tape.
Put that tape right on my when it comes off, it's gonna.
I'm not gonna lie, Heather. That sounds hot.
No, it's not gonna be hot. My skin is gonna come off with it. Okay,
you're running in that, and it's tugging on all the little hairs on your body as you're running. Oh my god!
What if you could shave your body down? First,
you would have to nair everything.
Yeah.
I was like,
oh yeah.
You'd
have to be as hairless as Odo.
I did think about the hair, and I also thought that Tracy, there's less duct tape. So really, to me, she was the more ideal candidate.
They could have
Like-
put 2 layers if it was just her that went.
Yeah, right.
They had tons of tape. I don't think the tape was the issue.
They had enough tape, but anyway, they
The
do
plan
it.
is the issue.
They have their last breath. They hit the depressurization, and they are off. Meanwhile, we see like the clock here, how many seconds they are in the vacuum of space from the time it goes on.
I
And,
thought they were setting the time circuits, but then I realized I was watching
No.
the wrong thing.
yeah, they're going here. We see how like Gordo is clearly struggling.
Yeah, because there's no seal on those damn masks.
And you can't breathe. Like you can't breathe in. You have no air in your lungs. To
Oh, it's
begin
not
with.
that. It's not holding their breath. That's the problem. It's their
They're
insides
not
getting
holding their
cooked.
breath.
They're not
Yeah.
holding their breath. There's no breath.
There is no
There's no
breath to hold, but like their insides are getting cooked, right? Like
Yes.
And their outsides.
Yeah.
And they're
well,
outsides.
what's 200 Fahrenheit in Celsius?
It's too hot.
Lots.
I'm gonna bake.
It's hot.
I need to know.
This, like, as much
93
as
degrees
Oh,
Celsius. Okay,
just
so
as
near,
much as we've joked about the duct tape and everything, this was so sad. I've watched this twice and I cried both times. It was just.
this
it
would have
was
been like
great.
you're basically like in a boiling pot of water, basically. Is how it would feel
in a vacuum.
in a vacuum.
Well, you are
Wrapped
the
in-
boiling pot of water.
right. As they're heading out this 25 meters to get out there, we see that the temperature of the reactor is going up and up. At this point, it's 638 degrees Celsius.
This was so Star Trek. Plug the one thing into the other thing and flip a switch.
Just flip them.
It was
Yeah.
so Star Trek.
Yes.
It just was missing the isolating your chips.
All you have
Really?
to do is take one
Well,
chip, put it in there, take another chip, put it in there, you're done.
Right. We
Pull
see,
it, maglock, turn it, push it back in.
With all the engineering that Jamestown has, I'm pretty sure they would have had some sort of relay on the inside to do this. But
so.
you know, what can
Because
you
they have to take 2 panels off, so Gordo and Tracy both have a role to play here. He's doing the reconnection of the
do?
cords.
Yeah, she has to cut the power while he does the flip, and then she turns it back. on.
Right, and then we see like his suit has like a leak here, like where he's bleeding out of it.
I did like how they did that, where like the blood was being sucked out of them. That was
Yeah, into the
I
vacuum.
love
here.
that you called it a suit.
The
Gordo's
wrapping.
suit is malfunctioning.
Yeah, it's just wardrobe malfunction. As he's doing all his
cool.
thing.
Look at
Yeah,
those
like,
connectors, man.
I just
are
you know,
crazy.
I wonder. They have to be able to see each other. She flips the switches back on. At this point, they're at the 12-second mark, and we see the reactor is gone almost to the critical level, but then it starts to come down. The temperature actually starts to come down.
No,
They
it
realize-
wasn't the critical level.
Yeah,
realize
it
that
peaks at 840 and then it comes down to 839, and that's when they
And
realize.
Yeah, at
so
this
on.
point,
Oh,
at this
all we
point, these
needed
guys
was
are already
Major-
zombies.
all we needed was Major Barrett saying, "Warp core breach is imminent."
Yes.
That's
That's kind of what it was. And then Gordo and
Where's
Tracy
Shooter
they,
McGavin when you need him?
they start heading back to the base.
Oh,
Gordo's
I
looking
love
at
how his eyes are dilating and stuff. That's so
Oh
cool.
yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
I don't love that, but it's
Well, I
It's-
just mean from
It adds to the
I know what you
brutalism of it
mean.
all.
it adds
Now,
to the brutalism.
They're at like the 7. Now they're at 17 seconds. They're still not back in. And then we
I
see the
love
door.
that shot of the open door
The
waiting for
door's
them
just
to come
open.
back.
We don't know what's
That
going to
was-
happen. And are they going
yeah.
to make it? And all of a sudden we do see them. And they give us the sense that they're going to live. They're going to make it. You know?
I knew they were dead. the
Oh,
minute
you
they
know
put the
they're
duct
not
tape
going to
on.
make
yeah.
it.
Oh, I was hoping on the first time I watched it.
The first time I
Anyway.
watched it, I thought, well, maybe they survived.
Maybe they survived. I was
I-
like, maybe they survived. Or
I
maybe
thought they'd
one of
be
them will
re-
survive or something. But
Yeah, like I thought they'd
I
be
knew
really
how
hurt.
they made me like Gordo.
Not
Right.
me.
No.
I knew they were going to be dead and found dead in each other's arms. 100%. I knew that
100%,
would happen.
yeah.
Yeah.
I knew that too.
I guess I was hoping
Yeah.
for more.
in
I
the end, he
always
got the
did.
girl. That's
He got her
story
back.
they're going for.
Yeah.
No tape, duct tape to his chest that says "Screw you, Sam."
Yeah.
Showed you, Sam. He actually wrote that on his body in marker before he taped it up. That would have been great. Anyways,
Yeah,
then we see-
no, he should have put caught the wild horse.
he did. Danny then in Apollo, she opens
I was
up
hoping
her.
in this scene, like she just was kept waiting, and they're like, "Well, we told you that it was broken.
The
door latch
does
is
not
broken.
work.
We can't open it."
Yeah. But then they're there. They like, hello, and they come on out, and they get to come at each other and do their little handshake, and it's a nice, moment.
I have to say this was just not needed for me in the episode. This whole storyline was just whatever for me.
But
Like,
this is how
Especially when
this
you have the
de-escalated.
contrast.
This
I-
is what key to
It's the
it.
symbolism, Jeff. It's the
Yeah.
the meaningful gesture
The
of
contrast,
peace.
though, it doesn't fit. I'm with Jeff
And-
on this.
and
It
the-
doesn't fit where it is.
It comes in here, and then they're all cheering for the handshake in space. Everyone's happy.
But
you
Dave,
know?
there's literally like we're on the precipice of nuclear war. Like Gordo and Tracy are like sacrificing their lives, and then they're clapping, like, and they're like, "Yay, this is amazing!" Like it doesn't
Yay, we
fit in
burned
the
2
episode.
people alive!
Because of what this is what Thomas Paine was talking about. Like, we're gonna make history here. That, and despite all the Cold War rhetoric and like everything else, that like this meaningful gesture of peace is going to have meaning. You know, and then we see it
this-
all.
If this moment had been in the last episode before the Soviets showed up and shot up the base, then I think it would have fit. But
Yeah.
to put it in this episode when all this tension is going on, and then like these people, like the whole control group gets up and claps, and it's like, what? Like I'm
Well,
just
it's on top of this fact that we also see that like the room that Gordo and Tracy come back to, we see it repressurized. So we get this other idea that no, they'd lived, they survived, right? So we got two happy things happening at once.
The
And then-
point of the handshake was de-escalation. How can you say it doesn't fit here? That's the
It was absolutely
point.
crucial.
It's crucial.
it's
You know, as we
It's
then pan
not-
back, right? We see we see them doing their hand like their photo ops from Apollo Soyuz, and then on Earth and all the like in the outpost and everywhere else, like nobody's watching the TV because everyone's in their fallout shelters or is somewhere else. But
Can you go back?
This I really liked because I felt like this was what they were presenting on TV, like propaganda versus reality.
right.
This
Okay.
handshake on the moon, but we're all in fallout shelters.
Yeah.
Right.
There's nobody around.
Well,
That's an interesting read, Kevin. I like that.
Was this-
I just
was it-
wanted you to go back to this shot because that floor model TV is rad.
Yes, that's super cool.
Really cool.
it's got a
Very
bit of
cool.
a curve on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, guess who was watching this?
Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan was watching it. Everyone on Air Force
Well,
One.
No,
Technically,
Ronnie.
he wasn't. Somebody had to tell him to watch it.
Oh,
yeah,
that's right.
this guy who I think is Secretary of State or something.
He's with Jeff. This wasn't his favorite either.
It's like, why do they keep putting a lid on there?
what is the point?
Mr. President, look, the handshake's happening, right? And then Ellen gets the call from Reagan. You know, she's like thinks she's gonna get chewed up by Reagan. He was like, "No, that was good. I liked that." You know,
Wait,
but
but
And Nancy liked it. More important.
Nancy liked it.
how many Americans were killed? Or was it just one was killed?
No, now at least
Tracy
two.
Gordo,
No, killed like murdered by the
On
Soviets.
Jamestown,
Yeah,
Oh,
just
okay.
one.
the Marine,
at least two, and
the
now
one Marine that was standing by Tracy, and then the guy that he like quadruple tapped on the floor.
I don't think a
no, but remember
handshake-
the guy who got sucked out in the previous episode.
Oh,
too,
yeah,
right?
that's
Oh yeah.
right. So that
Yeah.
guy got
So they
murdered.
lost at least 3.
Body
Okay.
count's rising.
Plus Gordo and
Plus,
The
Gordo
Amer-
and Tracy are kind of in
Tracy.
that too.
I just don't think the Americans are going. Well, at least they had a handshake in space. That just smooths everything over. I just doubt that happens. You know, like that's the part that I don't.
And there are
get.
2 cosmonauts now dead, right? The one who
Yeah.
got burned up, and then there's also this guy that got killed by Webster, in self-defense. But like, I feel like
Webster's body count is going up
it
too.
is. Yeah, she's making her mark.
well, she's the biggest problem.
Reagan then says, "Okay, what's happening with the Pathfinder and all that in Baran?" And then we come back here to Ed and Pathfinder. As they're getting-
Meanwhile, Ed's crazy train.
Yeah, the crazy train for confrontation with the Baran. I think this is where they get the communication here with the Russians who are like, "We are blockading this, and you may not come. We don't recognize you're a blockade." And Ed is very much in his rhetoric. He's like, "Oh, this is what they do. They have attacked our astronauts, and they're going along with this, you know."
And it's just like Korea. And the other 2 are like, it's not Korea, dude.
This is not Korea. He's like, oh, those North Koreans, they would have come all the way down to the South Sea if we had let them. He orders Sally Ride to lock targets onto the Bran, like they had done in the simulations, and she refuses the order.
which
So-
is you should do.
Yeah.
You know, Yeah.
That's fine if she refuses the order. It's how she did it that was the problem.
Like there was that.
Also,
that-
she's a civilian. You can't tell me what to do, Ed.
Well,
like,
yeah,
Well,
he can.
she's not really a civilian when she's on his ship.
No,
yeah.
No, so
there's still a pecking order here.
She's not military, but she is an astronaut working for the United States. I don't know. It's kind of,
I just
you know.
feel like Sally Ride can do whatever she wants, and she does.
she tries. Yeah, she goes. Ed is not having it. He's giving his best growl face at Sally
He is.
Ride.
That's
He relieves her of duty. He's like, "You're out. Give me the thing. Cover my station, Piscotti. I'll handle this myself." And he kicks out Sally Ride here.
And Piscotty's like, I really wish I never came on this trip.
Yeah.
He's like, why did I bother sucking up to this guy?
Yeah.
I shouldn't have done that. I should have just stayed down.
So he starts the process to lock the weapons, and then here comes Sally Ride with those handguns that they brought along with them. She points it right at him.
So this is where she loses credibility with me, because you don't do that.
No,
I
okay,
don't-
first of number one, you don't point a gun at somebody unless your finger's on the trigger. You know, that's number one. You know, so what is she doing?
Well, she's in relax mode right now. Yeah.
Right. They established that she knows how to fire it, but I think this is where Ed's like, "Have you ever fired a gun at a person before, Sally?" You know, or he just gets it really.
You gotta remember, this is a guy who actually has fought in a war
Yeah.
and all that, so he really does know what he's talking about in this scenario. Like, it's not like he's completely blind with power or anything. Like, he's
And
he's
he
doing
does,
what he feels is right, and what he's
and he
what
for
is right
sure
is
knows
right.
that she's not going to shoot him.
He's pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, "You gonna shoot me?" You know. Piscotty's like, "We're in a pressurized capsule," you know. But then Ed pulls out the other gun and points it at her.
No
right?
finger on the trigger either.
It's kind of like a Mexican standoff here. You know, in a spaceship. But
Yeah, I could have done with just an argument here. I didn't
Yeah.
need the
Yeah,
guns.
the gun thing didn't need to
Guns
happen.
didn't need to occur.
The guns were a little much.
maybe a slap fight. No, I don't know. It would,
Well, she's within her rights to not do it. Absolutely. She's
Yes.
in
You're
her
right.
rights to say, no, I'm not going to do it. Get somebody else to do it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that on my conscience. And that's fine. But when she pulls a gun on him, that's when I'm like, okay.
it's pretty
you're an
extreme,
ass.
but she really doesn't want to fire on Baran.
That's great. It's not her fucking position to say one way or the other.
She's not the commander of the mission. She's making this appeal to Ed. Like, I watched you testify about Apollo 10, you know, and that it's your ship. You can make this call. You don't have to follow the orders, right? And he's like, I lost the moon once. I'm not going to lose it again. This is more about like losing all of humanity. Piscotti tries to be the voice of reason and talk them down here. But then they notice that the Baran has a missile lock on them. So they
Not on them, but on the.
No, it's not on them.
on Sea
On the
Dragon.
Sea Dragon.
On Sea
Sea
Dragon.
Dragon.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm sorry. Yeah, and so
And
Ed's
that's when
back.
Ed's like, see?
And Sally's still pointing the gun at Ed, and he's like, "Do what you got to do, Sally. I got to do what I got to
That's
do.
fine, but I'm going to hit this button over here.
I'm gonna do it over here." And she's pleading. She's like, "No, Ed. I thought."
So the question is, without her doing anything, would he have still come to this conclusion?
like if she hadn't refused the order and they hadn't had this confrontation and this conversation, would he have still made this call? Maybe not, right? And so
No,
maybe,
I doubt it, but I still think it could have just been an argument, a persuasive argument rather than
Yeah.
guns in the
They
shuttle.
didn't.
They're
didn't give you the
Americans,
guns.
though. Guns.
Right.
Right.
But they didn't
Guns.
give them
Sorry.
the guns to fire on themselves. They gave them the guns to protect them from the other people.
See, that's the problem with the guns.
Too many
Right?
guns.
there's too many guns.
It's all
Yeah.
Bradford's fault.
Yeah, it's
It
mostly
really
Bradford.
is.
They fire the missiles. They seem to be heading at Baran, And if I was Baran, I would think that these are coming at me for sure. I might fire back right now. But
Now, this is the classic first contact move right here. I fully expected the Borg Queen to turn and be like, Data!
No!
yeah, resistance is futile.
Yeah!
As the missiles take a left hard turn and they hit Sea Dragon instead, and so Ed blew up his own
Oh.
thing. And it's quite the
Well,
blast here.
It's like shooting a hostage, right? You shoot
Yeah.
a hostage and take them out of the equation. It's that simple.
That's kind of what it was, yeah. And it's quite bright. I don't know how much radiation they were all exposed to in this moment, but probably a little bit.
They should have put on their duct tape
They're on
first.
the dark side of the moon.
I know,
Are you
but
talking about from the? Oh,
But their two
Maybe.
ships were like right next to this thing when it blew up.
That's fine.
Space.
Space.
This
Space.
this ship goes in and out of orbit. It's
Radiation
No-
would never
no-
go through space.
no
Um,
shockwave.
No shockwave, no nothing. Anyway, so then there's this moment here where Ed looks over at the Baran cosmonauts in their shuttle, and they're like, "What the
I
hell?"
always hate when they do this in shows. When they're in vehicles and they can see each other, it's like, when they do it in
Yeah.
planes and they're like doing
Well, you know how fast they're going. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's
fact that-
They're going slow enough to exchange meaningful looks.
Or they would be on the same latitude.
no, the
in air,
cosmonauts are looking
altitude.
over, going, "Why has she drawn a gun on him? Like, why is she holding a gun to his head?
Yeah, those Americans are weird.
These guys are so weird."
As they come around, they finally see the sun again from the dark side of the moon. And they can finally reestablish communication here with
Where
Ellen.
did his hat go?
He's like, "I don't wear a hat anymore. You're gonna see my red hair now."
Fuck you and your navy.
He wasn't even wearing a Navy hat anymore. He was wearing like specifically a
wearing
Pathfinder
the-
hat.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
wearing the Pathfinder hat. Yeah.
Anyway, but she goes, "Did you destroy Sea Dragon?" And like Ed's like, "Well, the thing is,"
It got in
and
the way.
she's like, "Well, it's a good thing you didn't attack the Baran because good thing has just happened." And then we get the breaking news: Reagan flew to Moscow after seeing the handshake in space with Nancy. And,
What a parallel to today's world, isn't it?
and they just said, "Hey, let's not kill each other. Let's not have a nuclear war." The Russians order all their cosmonauts out of Jamestown, order them to pull back. The crisis is over, seemingly, as the handshakes are now, and they've been inspired to work out their differences.
that looks like Gorbachev, not Andropov.
Yeah, where's Gorbachev? He was in this show, wasn't he?
I
Not
think he was
yet.
mentioned.
No, you know what? I'm thinking of, I watched the Tetris movie with Taron Egerton the other night. Gorbachev was in that, not this. I'm mixed up.
Which is a
Funny
few-
you should
it's
say that
set
because I
years
watched
later,
the
but-
Naked Gun.
Oh yeah, he's
Original
in that
Naked Gun.
too.
Gorbachev
And
was
he
the one with
in
the birthmark on
With
his
the
head.
birthmark, that's right.
Yeah.
So is Andropov a real person?
Yeah, he was the premier of the general secretary of the Soviet Union, but actually until 1984 when he died. So it could be him. Looks like him.
This might be a real video of Reagan and Andropov in that time,
Yeah.
right? And would have been Reagan's first term, but the second term in this timeline. Anyway, there's a look here between Ellen and Margot that I guess they made it through. We see Karen and Kelly come out of the bomb shelter, and they're watching it on TV. We see a relic of Sea Dragon just land on the dark side of the moon there as the debris of Sea Dragon comes down. And this was the one part that was all these Russians kind of walk out while the beaten face of Commander Rossi is he's seeing them out. There's little sneers here, but I feel I don't know they also give a look here to the cosmonaut who defected from the Russian commander. You traitor. He's like, "I'm good, bro. See you later." And then Rossi and the Lioness guy and everyone else, they head out to go. They're gonna go find Tracy and Gordo. They're gonna be fine. Let's open the door here, and they find them to be gone. And I was like, "No, they died." No,
I already knew they were dead.
yeah, sad. So
Still
then.
sad.
Then we get their full military parade here, full honors. They get to go. They bury Tracy in Arlington, despite never having been a member of the armed services.
Yeah,
so
which
that's
doesn't
pretty
make any sense
impressive.
at all.
I feel like they would,
Make an
I don't know
exception?
much about the military, but I feel like in this case that they would.
They
do
might
it.
make an exception for somebody who saved the world or saved the moon. I don't know. Sure, right? But normally this would not happen. Anyway, some real footage here. We see, Danny and the other one, their sons, looking sad. The other one,
The other
really-
one is real sad at the
the memorial.
funeral.
The other one is looking like an old man already.
He does look
Wait till
old.
you see him in 12 years.
Danny's still full of rage.
He
Yeah.
is.
Despite
Isn't he the younger one?
No,
Danny
Jimmy-
or the other one? The other
The other
one's
one.
younger.
Yeah, he's a bit younger.
Okay, so Jimmy's the older one.
No,
The younger.
Danny is older.
Danny's older.
Jimmy is younger.
Jimmy
Danny's
looks like
the-
he's like
He looks
10 years older.
75
I
years
know.
old.
That's what we were just saying.
Danny's
Like,
the one that gives rides, and the other one listens to music on his headphones all the time.
mm-hmm.
That's how you differentiate.
We also saw Sam was at the funeral, like I guess to grieve over his wife. He's a widower now.
He's like, God damn it, my trophy wife's gone.
That stallion got away from me.
I had a whole plan. I was gonna franchise those bars, and I was gonna. Me and Tracy were gonna go to all the different franchises. You know, that's all he's thinking about, money.
No, he's looking around that funeral looking for her hot friends.
It's rough. Anyway, so they get
Karen.
the whole.
Karen.
He doesn't go far. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, we see a lot of the main characters there now. Danny, of course, Danielle being now down on Earth, after Apollo Soyuz. This seemed to be a footage from a real funeral that they were kind of building.
I
in
want
here.
to say this was actually from Challenger, but I could be wrong on that.
At one point, we see three
Because if you
caskets,
actually-
and I
There's
was like,
actually
who's...
4 there you can see.
Yeah, I'm like, who's it?
Yeah, so I
So
think this was
Challenger
actually
might
the
be
Challenger
correct.
one.
I'm not. Challenger was in '86. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah,
But I mean, even in the context of the show, that more than Gordo and Tracy died on the moon.
True,
Absolutely.
true.
Yeah.
So I guess they brought all their bodies down, and they give them the 21 gun salute, and the planes fly over, and then we get like, an actual scene here that's not done the footage, as we see the two sons carrying the flags here of their parents. First, we see Ed go over to Gordo's grave, and he's sad. He's like, I told him to be a man and stop worrying about Imagine Dance. And maybe I was a little harsh, but
This is the only time we didn't even see Ed cry when his son died.
Yes, we did.
A
Did
little
we?
bit.
Did he cry?
Yeah.
When he was in the re-entry at the end of the last season.
Oh, yes, right. Yeah.
He wouldn't let
Yeah.
anyone see it, of course.
Right.
That's it.
Uh,
But,
This was really sad. And then Danny came and put her hand on his shoulder.
yeah, he puts the deck of cards down, and I was like, did they play cards a lot, Gordo and Ed? I don't remember one
They were
scene where
playing
they played
cards
cards.
in the bar when we first saw them.
But they also played the arcade game, remember?
They
And,
did. Yep.
Well, he can't put that on the tomb.
some
Not going to
Space
fit
Invaders.
in there.
No. Yeah, so Ed saying goodbye.
And he
here.
doesn't own it anymore.
No,
Right.
he just found out about that. Maybe that's why he's sad.
Maybe that's why he's crying. He's like, "Oh, I had
Right.
the high score."
Then we see, Karen and Kelly there at the funeral looking on. Yeah, Danielle trying to comfort Ed.
And at this point, they're split. You already know they're split.
Yeah, you can feel that happening here. We then see Kelly goes over to pay tribute to Tracy and say, I'm sorry I banged your son, but, you're a good friend.
Okay,
so-
hold on.
No.
She had-
I'm sorry I banged our son.
All right.
Yeah. So she got a Medal of Honor, which would make sense.
Yeah.
But then she had the Congressional Medal of Honor as well.
Or something, it looks like Continental Medal or something. Or
Presidential. No.
Presidential Medal? maybe?
Presidential.
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. And perhaps that's why she was allowed to, be interred here.
I have an answer for that.
Okay.
You actually,
Okay.
yeah. you
Well,
want
we're
me
almost
to
at the end. We're almost at the end here, Adam. So you will have the floor in a moment.
I would like to say Karen's funeral look is impeccable.
It was a nice look, I think
Yeah.
it looked-
She had to
was
get
nice.
dressed up for Danny.
She looks like the front of a Wilson Phillips CD.
Right.
What?
What are we talking about?
Jody,
Wait,
your fashion opinions are very questionable, my friend.
We see Danny
They're
looking
mostly
on.
just to
Those
cause
are
rage,
daggers.
really, but,
Those are
yeah.
some.
Is
those are
Danny
some-
shooting daggers that here at Danny Stevens?
Oh, yes.
Yes,
At Karen.
Yeah,
yes.
he's very bitter at Karen for dumping him. Love him and leave him. That's what she says.
Which
Uh,
seems to disappear later on, but I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, he's looking on.
No.
here as
She
he's-
says raise him and leave him.
Ah,
Yes!
Jimmy. Then
I'm
Ed,
proud of you, Kevin.
Ed
That was
comes
good.
over and kisses Kelly, and we see like this tension here with the Baldwins that transitions into the next scene. That's kind
well,
of
you see the difference between the way that Karen and Ed hug. It's very like pat, cold, and then he really hugs Kelly and
Yeah.
comforts her
Yeah.
and himself.
Well,
and
that's
it's-
because
and
there's
it's very
only one of them that he
perfunctory.
loves.
There's a kind of like this goodbye hug here with Karen
Mhm.
and Ed as Kelly
Kinda.
looks on.
That's a very like you guys don't have to do that in front of me. That's what that
Yeah.
look is.
And he gives Kelly a much warmer, but then Kelly goes off with Karen here. Maybe they're going to be roommates while they both go to college. And Ed is left with his what is that, a Corvette? Again?
Yeah.
Stingray.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Stingray 64, I believe.
As
He
heads out
drove
here.
that across the country. That would be uncomfortable.
Right, because he came from Houston, right?
Mhm.
To
Oh,
get
it's
here.
not about
This is
comfort. He's
Arlington.
styling.
This is Washington, Virginia, right? So,
No, this is Arlington.
yeah.
Which is in Washington, not
He
Arlington,
It's
not
in,
Arlington, Texas.
It's in,
Oh, I thought it was.
No.
Oh, okay.
no, this isn't not in Texas, is it?
No,
No,
it's in
it's not.
Virginia.
Oh,
This
that's
is a
right.
beautiful
Arlington, Virginia,
shot as he drives away, like the
Mhm.
landscape. It's very, very
And
It
by
is a
this
nice
point,
shot.
I think we have the "Come As You Are" song has already started to kick in
Yes.
here with the
Yes.
Nirvana. So leading into the next season, we see Margot coming out of the cemetery. She gets the call here from
This
Sergey.
pan out shot's great.
Mhm.
Love the
Sergey,
pan out
because it's always nighttime. Where in Moscow, if it's daytime in America, usually, and yeah.
No, it's
Oh,
just
they can't-
always nighttime in
They
Russia.
can't afford the lights.
it's always dark. And he's like, "Hey, are you going to go to the conference in England?" You know, she's like, "Well, maybe." And he's like,
We
"That
have
would
more
be
secrets
nice."
to discuss.
Yeah, let's meet up at the conference, and then we see him hang up the phone, and this Russian military guy is saying, "Very good. I'm telling you, she will not come." Sergey says, but he goes, "It
This
doesn't
was
matter."
a nice little bite into the next season, though. I like.
Yeah,
that.
she's already opened the door with Baran, and that's the setting up there. By the time she realizes she is working for us, it will be too late.
Well, the Soviets are like, she's weak. We've already shown this.
Yeah,
You know,
and
look at
you
what
can look
happened.
at
She's
the look on Sergey's face, kind of says it all.
Well, because he, I think, likes her.
Yeah, I think he generally doesn't want to do all this, but he's being compelled to. Anyway, and then we see Margot visit the eternal flame, Jeff, of JFK, who is also, of course, interred in Arlington National.
I just like when they show the above shot because the above shot shows the crack that goes completely through it.
Oh yeah, well
Which
that's
kind of signifies that, you know, she's lost her side.
Mm. And she's also wearing a string of pearls, which I think is a nod to Jackie O, because we don't
Jackie O.
usually see her wearing pearls.
right.
And this is also the last time we get to see this haircut, which is, in my opinion, a thing.
Yeah, she'll have a
I think-
90s haircut soon.
I think. What do you think she's thinking? Because I think she's thinking, my government's stupid. Like this all could have been prevented. You know, it's
She
like,
it seems like she's very disillusioned
Yeah.
at this time.
Yes, I think that's accurate.
Her optimism
Um,
is finally catching up.
yeah.
And there's that crack, I guess, Jody, you were talking about that comes
Yeah.
through there. As we pull up from the eternal flame into the sky of Earth, over, in past the moon, as we were talking about. We go right by Jamestown and keep going to Mars as we head into the clouds of Mars next to land down here on the
And then we see a
surface.
footstep, don't we?
Eventually, yeah, we get to the footstep and we finally see a boots on the ground on Mars. It's now 1995.
1995.
And that is the final shot of this season and this episode, as the episode is then dedicated to the loving memory of Alan Decker, who died in 2020. I'm not sure who that is, but perhaps
He was a sound guy. I looked it up last night. He was a sound guy that he worked on a ton of stuff, including this. And I'm drawing a blank now, but I'll get that too.
Okay. Well, with that, Adam, you have the
2020
floor
was a ball bag.
as we will head into the fun facts section. So, thanks for being with us all. If you're still here, it's almost 2 hours
Fun
later.
facts with Adam. They're very fun and they're facts.
Yes, they are.
Fun
Wow.
facts with Adam.
No, I think she wins, Dave.
Okay, so Alan Decker he did some. He was a sound guy. Worked on Homeland, Outlander. Remember the show Grimm? I like that show.
No, that was a good show, actually.
Yeah. So he did
Short-lived.
lots of work out there, and most recently finished up on For All Mankind. So, okay, let's talk about Arlington. First of all, family member eligibility. You can be buried there if you're a family member. It's known as derivative eligibility, meaning the right to bury at Arlington derives from the service of the primarily eligible person. So they don't want to split the families up. So if I was to be buried there and I wanted my wife to be buried there, you could be buried together. There is a ton of rules around spouse and surviving spouses. There is a remarriage rule. Even if you get remarried, you can be buried there, interestingly enough, which is why Jacqueline Kennedy is buried with John F. Kennedy. Remember, she married.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what if
Yeah,
you
'cause
were
she's beside him.
divorced?
Doesn't say that rule.
Then you have slighted God and you don't deserve to be there. Now let's move
And
on.
wasn't like I remember when Shane died, and like I think that Ed wanted to have Shane buried there, but at the time he wasn't a flag officer.
Yeah, I'm not sure really why. It sounds to me like they can do it. I don't know why.
Okay.
Anyway. But so just if you haven't been there, I mean, I've been there. It's a really cool cemetery to walk through. There's tours, but it's giant, number one. But you can see some pretty famous grave sites there, including Joe Louis. Did you know this? He was not only the boxer, but he was also in the military and fought in World War II.
Great snack cake too.
Mm-hmm. Thurgood Marshall. He was the first black man to become the Supreme Court justice.
And he was also a military guy, I'm guessing.
He doesn't actually say whether he was one.
I think you just have to serve a government agency. I don't think you
Ruth
actually
Bader
have to be part
Ginsburg,
of the
who
military.
was not in the military, but she's in there.
Okay. So it's kind of like meant for national heroes, right? Like that's kind of like where they put like their.
Yeah, I mean, all the Kennedys are there. John Kennedy,
People
Jacqueline,
who serve the country, I guess.
Robert Kennedy, Edward Kennedy, Ted.
JFK Jr.
He's not there. Abner Doubleday is there, who is, you might recognize him as falsely the man who invented baseball, but he was also a distinguished military hero.
Okay.
And then, let's move on from that. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about. So, Jeff, you were asking about de-escalation and how fast it can happen. So I was just curious how quickly the Cuban Missile Crisis de-escalated. And the big worry with these kind of escalations is, you got all these ships going out there, you've got all these people who are now involved. It's whether some person may pull a trigger or bump into another ship or something happens to start escalating it all up. It doesn't take much. So, in fact, I was recently found this out. Did you know back in the day, when the nuclear weapons first came out during Eisenhower's time, every general had their own control over nuclear weapons. Makes no sense. So they took that away pretty quickly, apparently, and gave it to the president. However, so during the
Turns out that might not be great either.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Well,
my backyard.
Yeah. So during the Cuban Missile Crisis, things were escalating. It was a 14-day event, but you had ships, you had blockades, you had tension rising like crazy. People were buying supplies and going in their shelters in America. However, at the time, Khrushchev reached out to Kennedy and basically said, "Okay, we'll take our missile silos out of Cuba if you take your silos out of Turkey."
Right.
And within a day, that all happened, and the crisis completely de-escalated and went back to normal. Thank goodness.
Right, but there had to have a scene where there had to be a back channel negotiation, and my point is, but this episode is that people were killed, and the Americans would have definitely retaliated in some way.
I don't know about that, because I think that, like, if you look at skirmishes that happened through the Cold War, there was a lot of them, and there was battles, there was dogfights that happened. There was a lot of stuff that did happen that just happened and they were moved on.
Yep. And like the example in the season when the plane got shot out of the sky, right?
Right.
So there are examples where they said, well, we can't go to war over this, right? But yeah. I don't know. Just it seemed this is very high profile with the moon and everything. I wonder what would have happened.
What would have happened? Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just. Do you have that info on whether you could survive in a vacuum with a?
Yes, I'm going there. I'm sorry. I was going.
So it's what we all really want to know.
I don't mean to spoil your fun facts, but the answer is hell no.
So there's actually a website about this, and here's the thing, Dave. You could survive for up to 2 minutes on the moon without even
Any
duct
kind of
tape
protection.
on. Correct.
2
Whether
minutes?
you do 2 minutes. Now, you can't you would asphyxiate first because you have no ability to breathe. So you can still be alive without air for 2 minutes, right?
Right.
But yeah, but what you talked about when in the last episode how like the oxygen would leave your blood right through your skin.
Yes. So this is the difference. So yes, that would happen too, but that's not going to kill you. So your capillaries are going to bleed out your oxygen that's in your bloodstream, and you'll bubble, but it's not going to kill you. You don't have to. You won't. You can go back in. And actually, there's a NASA engineer who went in the vacuum container in 1966 and didn't die, but he did find that he could feel the saliva on his tongue boiling before, or evaporating or something, or bubbling before he went unconscious. But he did not die. He got him out. So the fact is, even in 200 degrees, you would not live for very long. You're being cooked essentially.
Yeah, it's like 90-degree boiling, not quite boiling water, but it's really, really hot. And like
so what they were showing, what they were showing with the duct tape there was actually sloughing off them because it was just melting. That would be probably true. However, they can't survive without air, and that was what would cause the fall. And then once they have no air, they're not going to come back. So I mean, how they shut the door and didn't, it's very unlikely.
They probably wouldn't have made it back to the door.
They probably wouldn't have made it. Like if they even got in the doorway, they probably wouldn't even close the door or have enough strength for that.
You know what propelled them though is love, everyone.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and just on, if I could add to that, Adam, it says here, the climactic deaths of Gordo and Tracy was a tough decision for showrunner Ronald D. Moore. Originally, it was only supposed to be one character who dies, but because people who Moore consulted about the plot twist were so distraught about the idea of losing one of the show's best characters, Moore decided to go to a maximum impact and kill them both.
I endorse that choice. Both of them is way better.
Yeah,
this is the best answer
Tracy
here.
would have been horrible if she stayed alive.
So the question was, could you survive on the moon if wrapped in duct tape? And Google basically said, this is a nonsensical scenario.
See, I basically Google.
Yes.
Oh, and this one, I also just want to add here from IMDb. It says, when Michael Dorman, who plays Gordo, received an email requesting he meet with the show's producer, he correctly figured that it was about the demise of his character. While this news can be daunting for most actors, Dorman took it in good humor and even queued up Boys to Men song End of the Road on his phone. As it worked out, killing him off for all mankind opened the door for Dorman to land the lead role in the series, Joe Pickett. So, I haven't seen.
Never seen.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on and get to ratings because this has been a long show here. 2 hours
Yes,
now.
thank you. I know it has been. There's been a lot to cover, so I'm trying to take it on this banner and get into the ratings section of this. And here, bring it in. Okay, all right. Jeff, we'll start with you tonight since it's your birthday, and we need your rating for the previous episode, Triage.
I'll give it a 9, sure. I'll make it consistent.
Okay, Jody gave it an 8.9.
Just to spite you, Dave.
Yeah. Okay, and now this episode, Jeff.
I give it like a 9.5. The 0.5 is for Aleda and the handshake.
All right, Heather.
This is the 10. This is the 10 for me. I loved it. That was
Kevin, you're up.
wonderful. Like duct tape and
Every time
all.
Heather cries, she gives a 10.
Yeah.
Listen, I watch TV to make me feel whether it's good or bad or whether I'm laughing and
I
how
have no
foolish it is.
feelings.
Like, this
That's
is
not what I do.
fantastic. I loved it. Listen, Jody, we're not all robots like you, okay? I'm crying.
All right, I think I'm gonna go 8.5. I don't like this as much as I like this week.
All right.
Kevin, I'm shocked.
I was tearing up a few times, so I think I'm with Heather on this one. I'm going 10 as well.
Yeah.
I'm giving this a 10. This is a good ending to this season, and I'm glad it ended this way.
Okay, and finally, Jody.
I'm with Kevin. This is an 8.5 for sure.
Okay. Well, that will average us out here at 9.4 between the 6 of us. That is our highest rating of any episode this season. And overall, this season did not as well as season 1. We averaged 7.7 compared to the 8.7 we averaged in season 1. So
I think
Well,
though
I mean,
this
Best
season,
Laid Plans really brought it down.
yes,
We
this
did not
season
like that
as
episode.
a whole is actually, I think, holds up to the first season as well, but it's just split up weird. Like when you're doing it every week and rating each individual show or each individual episode, it doesn't do as well.
but we did the same methodology for season 1, and
Sure.
right. So like not a bad rating, but obviously not as quite as strong as we saw before.
I think we should run the data to see whether or not if Aleda has the factor of changing things.
He's pulling down ratings. Well, I can try to do an analysis on that moving forward for you. So this has a 9.4 on IMDb as well. That's the same what we're giving it. It is the highest rating of the season. Higher than, well, we didn't like it quite as much as the season 1 finale, did we? But coming out there. Okay, well, I'm gonna pull down the rating banners, and just looking ahead, we are getting ready for season 3, of course. We're going to take a next week off as Heather's coming to Ontario for a tour. So we're going to use that time to get together in person, say hello. And
Yes.
I'm hoping we'll be able to get together for. I guess
we're going to do some.
Well, I guess it'd
crying.
be. Are we
gonna
Labor
be
Day? Labor Day would be the next opportunity after that. So we'll hopefully. And the next episode is called Polaris, season 3, episode 1.
Oh no, Ed looks so old.
I know.
I didn't
Gone is the
recognize
Ed
him.
of the 70s.
When I first put this episode on, I was like, "Who's that guy?" I didn't recognize him.
The first couple scenes, yeah.
Well,
I haven't finished the first episode yet, but I've
remember it's been
About
30
3 to
years
see.
since like the start of season 1, right? So
Yes, of course.
yeah, they need to age him up a bit. So even if the actor is not. So that is looking ahead. I want to thank the entire group for, of course, sticking through another season, week by week, of this show and talking all about it for these sometimes up to 2-hour-long podcasts like it is tonight. So thank you all. If you didn't know, we cover other shows here, like Strange New Worlds right now. This Thursday we'll be on covering What is Starfleet, season 3, episode 7. Look for that.
Ugh,
I know.
everyone's gorgeous.
Yes. And happy.
I've said it before. If I ended up wanting to turn, he'd be the first one.
Oh yeah,
He's a good-looking dude.
he sure is.
Well, we'll see you in maybe 2 weeks for the next episode. I'm promising myself I'm gonna end this before the 2-hour mark. So we are gonna sign off for
happening.
tonight.
I'm gonna delay.
All right. Well, good night, everyone. Live Long and Podcast. See you next time.
For all-
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. Artistic interviews with graphic histories. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, did you see this one? And movie reviews with Hold Up, a movie podcast. And take a peek into the darkness with Heard Noise, Must Investigate with Michael Chan. Watch us duke it out on trivial debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mater Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.